Hi both, I'm Sarah from the upcoming. So lovely to speak to you. Maybe you can just give us a brief introduction to Burn It Down, playing here at the London Film Festival.
Yeah, sure. Burn It Down really is using the lens of a festival that happened in 1999, a rerun of Woodstock, 30 years after the original 69 event, to talk about, very important issues that are facing us today and that faced us back in the day. It's a festival that was blighted by sexual assaults that ended up in being burnt down completely. But I think we sort of use it as a microcosm to talk about wider issues in society.
And, people would have heard of Woodstock, they might have seen Fire Festival. What brought you guys to this subject matter, and why did you think now is a good time to make a documentary about it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's a film that Tim just touched on that addresses a lot of issues we're still facing today, unresolved issues that as a culture and society we need to reckon with, we need to talk about. And I think beyond the incredible setting that is Woodstock 99 and visually, taking a look at a festival film during COVID and 250,000 people in one place was interesting. But to see sort of the larger themes and topics we could explore within this microcosm, within this 3-day festival, was something that excited us both from the start and felt like a worthy and important pursuit.
How did you even begin the process of making it? Research, finding the people you want to participate, and what was that like, kind of going through all that? Maybe sometimes fun, sometimes traumatic as well.
Yeah, there was definitely fun parts to it. I mean, it's a treasure trove because there's so much out there. We started, researching, just seeing what we could find online, and then expanded that. Celia was talking to local news agencies. We reached out to festival goers who had their own footage. We wrote letters to artists that were never replied to. So there was a huge sort of web that went out, and honestly, it kind of kept going throughout the whole making of the film. We got actually new archive very late in the day because stuff kept popping up. So the sort of research, investigation was kind of concurrent with the making of the film in a way that's probably only possible with an archive film like that, because you are trawling through huge amounts of found footage.
What I also think is unique about this documentary is so often in documentaries, your struggle is that you don't have enough people to tell the story. You're trying to, and here we had 250,000 people but we had too many people to tell the story. So that was a different kind of challenge of figuring out who's best suited to tell the story, and how can we make sure that we're not just getting the one part of the story we want to tell, but that we're giving a holistic understanding of how this festival happened.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say about the people that we interviewed was I was so impressed at their memories, because I've been to a lot of festivals, and if someone asks you to recount in detail, the kind of detail we needed, that 3 days of a music festival where I was partying,
20 years ago.
Yeah, it's just incredible that they managed to remember with so much detail. Also the way you interviewed them, but I was just, my mind was blown by that they recalled so much, and I suppose that speaks to how heightened that event must have been for them to attend.
And you were saying that, one of the harder elements was uncovering these stories of sexual assault and so on and so forth. So how did you make sure you dealt with those interviewees, like with sensitivity, but why did you also think it was really important to tell their story?
We don't have anyone in the film who experienced a sexual assault at the festival, which we certainly looked for and tried to include. It is obviously every survivor's choice if they want to speak or not. Court records are sealed, but I was really proud that we had a large contingent of women who spoke to what they witnessed at the festival, from reporters to performers, what it's like in general to be a woman in the music world, to feel violated in a space like that. I've said a number of times in interviews this week and at the screenings, every woman has a story like this. Every woman has a story. And I think that for me was why it was so important that this isn't an isolated thing. This is something we need to be screaming about and talking about and figuring out how to solve, because there are things that can be done. It's not just a matter of when you get that many people together, bad things happen. There are things we can be doing that we're not doing. And so, I wanted to make sure that the women were able to share the story they wanted to share. I tried not to push them in any particular direction, but I felt that they were brave and powerful, and that was important for people to see.
What do you hope that people will take away from the film? Because I guess there's moments, as you're saying, of levity and difficult moments as well. So, what do you think people take away overall?
Many things, but I think something that's really interesting is to remember that sort of certain forces that we're really that are bubbling up right now, politically, have been around for a long time and didn't just appear out of nowhere. So seeing the continuity, I think, is really important for me.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to the issue of 1 in 3 women. 1 in 3 women will be victims of physical or sexual assault in their lifetime. And that is something that I hope people remember and take away. And also remember and take away that we all have power to change the narrative. All of us do. And you can change the narrative, and documentaries at their best matter and change and impact. And I hope that people feel angry and energized to do something different.
And just very finally, how does it feel to have the film here at London Film Festival and be here and part of the whole thing, especially after COVID, all being locked in our bedrooms for almost 2 years?
Well, yeah, I'm from around here, so it's a wonderful place to show a film. We had 2 amazing screenings here that were incredibly vocal crowds. We had a full house screening at the Prince Charles, which is a really fantastic London cinema, the best of London, theatrical cinema culture, I'd say. So, yeah, hugely grateful that they selected the film to play here.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be with people at any festival. It's great, I can touch Tim. I met Tim for the first time this week in person. We made a film for a year and a half, not seeing each other than over Zoom, and so it's really nice to be able to share this and to be able to share it with audiences in a theater, especially a music film, to be able to hear it in that capacity and see the impact it's having on people is all you can ever ask for. So we're really happy to be here.
Amazing. Thanks so much for your time. Lovely to speak to you. Thanks so much.